out. It's a hypothetical, so let me change it. You and your woman are asleep in bed upstairs. You hear someone break into the house downstairs. Who goes downstairs?
Nobody.
Tripping.
Nobody. They'll just disappear. It's just magic, guys. They'll just disappear on their own.
XQ, you tripping. Hold on.
Like, even all of his friends on the podcast were laughing at him. And there's a couple different things that go on here. Right, there's this like lack of, for like modern men feeling like they don't have any of their manly responsibility and duty thing anymore. And then the other side is disagreeing with someone or not liking someone so much that you can't agree with them even when they are clearly correct, which is what happens in this clip here, I think, where even all of his friends, the most of them think Tate's a little bit too far off his rocker, right? All of his friends were laughing at him in this one. He's like, what, bro? Like, what the, you're not going to go protect your girl? What the are you even saying?
XQ, you're not going down there?
Nobody's going down there.
So what if they come upstairs?
Bro, you gotta protect.
Bro,
these are his friends right now grilling him with the question. That's not even Tate responding like, what the fuck, dude? Like, these are his own friends that were on here. They were all kind of like against Tate until this question came up. And then everyone's like, dude, what? You can't go this far off the soft to deep end.
I'll keep it $1.50
Protect.
real quick. I'll keep it $1.50.
No. My job is to survive, not protect.
Bait. And like, this is the biggest streamer on the whole platform. This is the role model, the biggest role model on the platform that young boys are watching.
In general, who is going downstairs? Nobody should. That's not what the question was.
Right?
In general, who is going downstairs?
What if your girl's an MMA fighter?
Who is going downstairs? What if
Still me, unless she's a 250-pound MMA fighter. Still me.
yeah, so
What if she's RoboCop?
my girl is
she's
a whole
RoboCop,
fucking black
maybe.
belt in Taekwondo.
She's RoboCop, but like, then it's not even fair, right? She's got like a armored exo like skeleton body thing, you know, like it's basically impossible to kill her.
Tell them.
I'm going downstairs.
So maybe in the future, when we're truly transhumanists, then you can finally abandon your male duty in this situation. But until then, I hope every woman who watches stuff like this sees the true colors of what's going on here. These dudes who pretend to be so on your side, right? They're so pro women that they won't even defend women anymore.
I had a conversation with X briefly, and it was cool. And I asked him the question a bit differently. I want you guys to hear it. Hypothetical, there's a gun pointed at the both of you. All right. Do you feel like it's your responsibility to get in front of your girl before the gun goes off?
No.
No?
I mean, I feel, go ahead.
Okay. What if it's your child?
There's the fact that there was hesitation over a child. It's like your child. Like we you know, do the thing too, right? It's your child. The child hasn't experienced life yet. You got to live most of your, like, there's so many things that goes in, but it's just supposed to be basic, like, instinct. This isn't a thing that you really think about, though. I can tell you, I've been in multiple situations before, and there are other people around, right, where emergency, like, flight, right, like fight or flight type situations happened. Like my dog behind me, this guy behind me, in front of me, and my sister started choking to death on something, like very seriously choking. The sister, right, she totally just froze, was stared at the dog in fear, and I jump into action, immediately start shoving my arm down my dog's throat, right, and I saved his life because I managed to clear it and push it the rest of the way down. Then you have other situations, like I've seen, right, someone else get hit by a fucking car, and I was in my truck with another male, and when we pulled up, right, I immediately jump out of the truck, run across the street, and start, like, trying to console the girl who just watched, like, the thing get hit. And I'm trying to take care of it. We're seeing if it's alive. There's anything we can do. Calling 911 shit. My roommate ran in the fucking house and hugged his cat. I was like, what the fuck? And then when the people came home and came over to thank us for me, like, actually acting and helping, like, in this situation with their daughter, like, witnessing this horrible thing, he stood at the door and just was right there with me, like, oh, yeah, well, no problem. That's just what neighbors do. And after the door closed, I looked at him. I was like, that was disgusting. Dude, you ran in the house like a bitch. You were not there. Did you just stay quiet? That was gross. But this is not a thing that you get to choose, right? Like, you just either you have this or you don't. And I deeply believe that physical training is a huge part of having this, of just being in that kind of like ready mode. And also your mind in a state of like, I usually embrace and push into the resistance instead of run away and avoid it. I think you can kind of train for it, but you can't think like in the moment, right? You don't think. It's going to be, you're either that type of person or you're not.
I mean, see, these hypotheticals, we're not gonna, like going anywhere with that. I just say these hypotheticals are very, very bad.
But you understand the principle. I'm not talking about the technical aspect. You understand the principle of it. It's like
by principle, yes. By technicality, I feel like if there could be choices to make that are better, you could make a better choice, right? What type of gun it is.
Oh my God! What type of gun it is? Oh my!
Hold on.
I can tell you I've also been in a situation with a gun. Not being pointed at me, but I was in a situation where someone I cared about was having a very intense, depressive episode. And they went out to the garage, and they were out there for a minute, and I went to go check on them. And when I found them, they were sitting in the car with a loaded and chambered handgun underneath their chin, like acting like they were ready to, like I don't even know how much I could say, right? It's probably TOS to even describe this, even though like I didn't do it, and the story is me saving someone. But again, you don't think. There's just like, you just react, right? I look, and somehow I see that the finger wasn't in the guard. And so before she could put her finger in the guard, I immediately got in and like pushed it right out from underneath her chin and took it away from her. Like, you don't get to think and you don't get to think. This is instinct and what kind of person you are.
Hold on, chill. Give him a chance to explain. I know it sounds crazy.
I'll shut up.
We'll give him a shot.
I think this is a question about like just the principle of it, right?
This is just the principle. If I went to anybody,
I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. God bless you. That was the only word I had. I thought we'd gotten so far off the deep end that we wouldn't say yes to that. Because I think
if you stick in as well. Like,
I just want you to understand like how it comes across to everyone in the world when they hear you even hesitate. Because if you ask most men on the street, vast majority of people, and you said, listen, there's a gun pointed at you and your girl, they would all jump and immediately say yes. Especially if it was their kids, they wouldn't even think about it.
You know what?
So when
you know how I know I would do it? There was a donkey, right? We're not talking a little small donkey, right? We're talking like a full mule donkey, big donkey, right? Like the ones that are size of actual horses, right? It's called a mule donkey. They're great for like guarding against stuff. But I didn't know when I was on the farm initially, like that their big thing was that they're big time there for dog protection, right? To keep like wolves, coyotes, and stuff away. And my dog was like up hanging around with me while I was like going up there to get some water for the cows. And the donkey straight up charged my dog, like to trample my dog to death. What do you think I did? Did I watch? Did I stop and think like, oh my God, what can I do? What are the options? What kind of thing is this? What kind of donkey and what kind of scenario is going to happen? No. I just jumped right in front of my dog and I punched the donkey in the nose as hard as I could. And lucky that was startling enough to the donkey that it stopped and didn't trample us both. But it easily could have just trampled us both. That's what would have happened. But the instinct was there that you protect the thing you love.
And they even hear you hesitate, all of a sudden they look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah. Obviously saying thing because it was a dog, not a human, right? In this scenario, you protect the woman you love, the child.
Even if they themselves wouldn't do it, they'd still answer yes to it, of course, right?
Oh yeah, because they want a black and white answer, but no.
And but the thing that happens is that answer is the answer of someone that's never been in a situation that was like dangerous, and that's fine because most of the people in the world hasn't been in that situation, right? Which is fine. When shit like that happen, you do not have to. It's not even you. It's not even your brain talking. Nope. It's not your brain being like, okay, that's the type of gun. This person is like that. If I think
it is purely what type of person are you? Again, I do believe that through physical training, you can be more likely to be someone who reacts this way. Like I don't know, like what makes me a type of person that reacts that way. I don't know. I don't think I was like that when I was younger. I was like a pretty weak kind of pussy, like got my ass kicked right in school. I told this story on a different, like stream and shit. Like, it wasn't there. I was honestly, when that dude kicked my ass, that then I started embracing trying to become strong, learn how to fight a bit, all these types of things. Right. And then from there, right, I end up going and doing homesteading stuff, working on farms, all these hard physical things. And I think through doing that, I crafted the type of character who jumps into action in these situations now. Whereas that same, if that hadn't happened to me and I continued on my same path, which was like, I was just a dude who played video games, whereas I became a dude who played video games and did all this physical stuff. I think if I continued down that path, there's a good chance like I would have been sitting here, maybe not saying the things xQc says. I think I would have still felt, right, the duty and verbally been saying it. But in reality, in the action, if I had experienced those moments that I have experienced, I think there's a good chance I wouldn't have responded the same way. That maybe I would have responded the way my roommate did, where he fucking ran in the house, right, and hugged his own cat.
Because wait, that's not even that. That's movies. That's The Equalizer starring Denzel Washington. Yeah. That's counting down. But that's not real life. Even when you're in a fight or flight situation and there's a guy attacking you, you could take the classes, martial art classes that you think and that you have and whatnot. The first error that someone that takes martial arts class is thinking that they know how to fight. It's
really true. Also, a good point. Most martial arts things are taught and trained in a way for competition, right? So it's like inside the ring, and it's inside the rules of those rules inside of the ring. When I did jiu-jitsu, I was lucky to have a coach that would kind of specifically break things down, and he would be like, "Here's a competition version of this, and here's a like on the street version of this," because things are very, very, very different. Especially if you talk about things like grappling and such. It's like a lot of grappling, straight up stupid. Don't do it. Don't even try to do it on the street. Like in practice and such, it's funny when you try to armbar someone and they just grabbed and they're a big, strong dude, and they just grab their other hand and lift you up in the air over their head, right? And then hit you on the mat, and it's like, In real life, that's your dead possibly, because your skull is definitely split open when it hits the concrete.
That situation happens, it's fucked. You don't rely on your knowledge. You rely
and I'm not joking. Like, y'all seen the Quentin Rampage Jackson thing? I've legit done this to somebody in jiu-jitsu class.
He's gonna go. He's gotta get out.
He tries to get that armbar. All right, so on a mat, that guy still ended up knocked unconscious because of this, right? I legitimately did that exact thing to my friend, except I held him in the air and looked at him and smiled and then set him down gently because we're friends and it was just sparring.
Some people are going to say, yeah, I would defend my girl, and maybe they wouldn't do it in the moment. But most people have that instinct.
See, what's crazy, right, is that X is just saying no. He's just, like, saying it. Most men would at least have the delusion to say yes and believe that they really would, even if they've never been in a situation that tested them to know if they would, right? But they would at least believe that they would. And X is just straight up like, no. And again, what's disturbing is the biggest streamer on the platform role modeling this shit to this just massive chunk of youth. And like, it's all these young boys that watch him. It's fucking sad.
Right? And this emboldens a lot of folks to follow a lot of these red pill dudes because their paradigm sounds far more appealing and much more natural than what you're explaining.
Yes, it's very true also. It's very true also. By the other side, like, producing things that look this disgusting, you push people into this like other extreme. We don't need people going that extreme, right? Because if you look into the red pill shit, it gets pretty crazy and gross.
Even a woman with her child,
of course,
and there's a dude, she will jump in front to save the
child
if the dude don't react enough. If it's just her and the dude, she's probably gonna look at the dude.
Yeah, and then you know what happens after that? She's leaving your ass. If you're both there and you don't and she has to, you're done. You're done. Guaranteed she's leaving you. Absolutely. And if she doesn't leave you, she's just staying there because, you guys are in a financial situation where it's hard to leave, and she's probably f***ing someone else real quick. It's like your ultimate role in her life as like a man with a child with her was that moment, and you don't do it, goodbye.
You just saying that. I can't have a conversation with you.
What you mean?
Because the conversation is going to be dishonest.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. You're not even going to, I'm going to ask you, that's dishonesty. You're dishonest. You know damn well you're gonna try to protect, or you really are crazy. But
right? It's like one or the other. You're either effing crazy or you're being dishonest because you don't like Tate so much, right? That you cannot give an inch and agree with a single thing that he fucking says, even with someone else. Like the second scenario here with the child was asked by him specifically. He contacted him and asked him, not Tate. So it would be like right, different. It wouldn't be a just versus Tate thing. Still couldn't give an inch and admit that he's wrong a little bit on that issue.
If I look at you and if you talk like that, I'm gonna be like,
when you're so obviously wrong.
I can't talk with you.
Yeah.
That's your answer to that question?
Or maybe you guys are just operating on such different paradigms. Like it's like, yeah, it's like you. We're not even. It's like you're.
It's like we fundamentally disagree on a level that makes it impossible to have a conversation.